All right, welcome back. We are so happy you joined us again. Let's continue our conversation in Genesis. So we're going to move on to chapter 19. Starting in chapter 19, verse 1, that evening the two angels came to the entrance of the city of Sodom. Lot was sitting there, and when he saw them, he stood up to meet them. Then he welcomed them and bowed with his face to the ground. So now this tells us that the other two men were angels. Yes. The entrance, in our notes, the entrance of the city, because you may think, well, why is Lot at the front of the city? The entrance of the city was the meeting place for city officials and other men to discuss current events and transact business. It was a place of authority and status where a person could see and be seen. Evidently, Lot held an important position in the government and associated with those who did because the angels found him at the city's entrance. Perhaps Lot's status in Sodom was one reason he was so reluctant to leave. There's some crazy stuff coming up.
I know.
In just these
terrible.
2 chapters.
Yes.
It's nuts. And, just like Abraham, he prepared a meal for the angels, or for the men.
Yes.
And insisted that he spent the night at his house, because the angels were going to just kind of spend it in the courtyard. And he's like, no, come stay with me.
Yes.
But trouble was around the corner.
Oh.
Because all the men, and it said the young and the old, came to his house. They surrounded Lot's house. And in chapter 19, verse 5, they shouted to Lot, "Where are the men who came to spend the night with you? Bring them out to us so we can have sex with them."
Yes.
What is going on in Sodom?
I know. It's a place of evil.
Oh.
Sin.
And what's crazy is it's young and old. So even the young have been so corrupted.
Yeah. Terrible.
Lot went out to confront the men outside. And in chapter 19, verses 7 and 8, he says, "Please, my brothers," he begged, "don't do such a wicked thing. Look, I have 2 virgin daughters. Let me bring them out to you, and you can do with them as you wish, but please leave these men alone, for they are my guests and under my protection."
Awful.
That's awful.
Yeah.
It's not getting any better.
No.
In our notes, it said, "This terrible suggestion reveals how deeply sin had been absorbed into Lot's life. He had become hardened to evil acts in an evil city. Whatever Lot's motives were, we see here an illustration of Sodom's terrible wickedness, a wickedness so great that God had to destroy the entire city."
Yeah.
But the mob wasn't going to listen.
No.
They were like, whatever, we don't care. And they lunged at Lot.
Yes.
To break down his door and get inside.
Yeah.
But in chapter 19, verses 10 and 11, "But the 2 angels reached out, pulled Lot into the house, and bolted the door. Then they," the angels, "blinded all the men, young and old, who were at the door of the house, so they gave up trying to get inside." Yeah, the angels asked Lot to get any of his relatives out of Sodom immediately because it was going to be destroyed. God had sent them to destroy it.
Yes.
And how, the compassion, because they could have, anything could have happened, but they could have just grabbed Lot. But they're like, no, get you, your relatives, your wife, whoever.
The whole
crew. Well, not whoever. I shouldn't say that.
But the whole family.
Yes. And Lot tried to tell his daughter's fiancés to leave immediately, but they didn't believe him.
No. In 1913, it said God promised to spare Sodom if only 10 innocent people lived there, but obviously not 10 could be found because the angels had arrived to destroy the city. Archaeological evidence points to an advanced civilization in this area during Abraham's day. Most researchers also confirm some kind of sudden and devastating destruction. It is now widely thought that the buried city lies beneath the waters of the southern end of the Dead Sea. The story of Sodom reveals that the people of Lot's day had to deal with the same kinds of repulsive sins that the world faces today. We should follow Abraham's example of trusting God. His selfless faith contrasts with the self-gratifying people of Sodom. he rushed out to tell his daughters and fiancés to get out of the city.
Yeah. Moving on to chapter 19, verses 15 through 17. At dawn the next morning, the angels became insistent because I guess Lot was kind of lollygagging about this. I don't know.
Or at least his daughter's fiancés were.
Yeah. Hurry, they said to Lot, take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here. Get out right now or you will be swept away in the destruction of the city. When Lot still hesitated, the angels seized his hand and the hands of his wife and 2 daughters and rushed them to safety outside the city.
Yeah.
For the Lord was merciful. When they were safely out of the city, one of the angels ordered, run for your lives and don't look back or stop anywhere in the valley. Escape to the mountains or you will be swept away. What was he holding on to?
I know. What was he waiting for?
What was he waiting for? Was he just so attached to the material things of Sodom or his power? What was seducing him?
I just don't know. It said that he did not want to abandon the wealth, position, and the comfort he enjoyed in Sodom.
Oh, okay.
And it's easy to criticize him for being hypnotized by Sodom when the choice seems to be clear to us. To be wiser than him, we must see that our hesitation to obey may stem from the false attractions of our culture's pleasure. He even said, I don't want to go to the mountains, I want to go to the small village.
Yeah. Because so moving on, the angels told Lot's family to run to the mountains, and Lot let the angels know how gracious and kind and they had been, but he didn't want to go there. He felt that quote unquote disaster would catch up to me there and I would soon die. He didn't believe his family would make it to the mountains before disaster struck.
Ridiculous. Yeah,
he wanted to go to Zor, a small nearby village. And then but that, here he's grateful, but he's showing a lack of faith.
I know it.
That he and his family aren't going to make it. But disaster, like they weren't going to take out Sodom until Lot and his family were safe.
Right.
All right, you guys, join us next time as we continue our discussion in Genesis. We're very excited.
Yes, we are.
All right, we will see you next time.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.